Okay, so it's me, Heather. I guess I'm gonna start burning this candle at both ends now. Um, what this is, I've been talking about the story for a very, very long time online, mostly um, anonymously online since a long time. So, mostly, I really got started back in 2004-ish. I was playing this MMORPG, and when you're in those kind of games, you spend a lot of time in chat rooms. And and during my time in chat rooms, I kept running across people who would talk about this porn. And they were all like spreading it around. At that point, it had converted over from VHS to DVD. And then if you've got, if you had a computer back then, it wasn't nothing to put a DVD in a computer and send files. Um, well, it was. You had to put them on a WinZip, but you know, to move files around from a DVD to a computer was fairly easy, and a lot of people were doing it. A lot of people were doing it in chat rooms back then, and I had befriended a lot of people in these MMORPGs, and people who play those games are usually pretty good with a computer. And we started chatting with people in chat rooms, various chat rooms across the web. Um, and I would act like another pervert looking for my porn. It was not like the things that the FBI does, where they act like little kids looking for pedophiles. I would act like another different pedophile, and because I know what's in the videos, and actively search out people who had other videos and for my collection. And I would like look for the people that had them, and then I had two other people who did it with me. And while I chatted, keep them busy in the chat. Somebody else grabs their IP address, and then somebody else, um, the good hacker, right, the one that's really good, um, from the IP address could download all of their files into their computer, and then put those in a WinZip, and send them to wherever they came from, their local PD. And that's what we were doing. And I did that for a pretty good while, and then you know the chat room scene kind of fell apart, so it wasn't really a thing. And then I got everybody got busy with life and things moved on. And then at that point, I thought, well, maybe it's all finally gone away, because it got harder and harder to find anyone that would, talk about the videos in chat rooms. And nobody wanted to talk about those videos anymore in chat rooms for some reason. And and so that wasn't like something you could really do anymore. And so I got just busy living my own life. But in the meantime, I'm still very much working just a slave wage job. And the sex trafficker people are still very much in my town. And a lot of times they would ask me to do things that weren't sexual favors, but other favors. And the favors were things like writings. They would ask me to write something, um, you know, "You need to write something." And I'd be like, no. But then they would threaten my children. Um, and so um, they were extorting me to give them intellectual property. Um, a lot of writings, poems, and novellas. And they would rework into something else, my intellectual property. And I was pretty mad about it, but there wasn't anything that I could do. And then of course I wouldn't have a record of it, of the thing. Um, yeah. So, um, I got very angry and then in 2012 got all the way off the internet and quit using the internet. But then they made my life absolutely unlivable. Um, just through my, they couldn't do anything with my kids. I, got that squared away. But I got it so that they couldn't harm my kids. But then they started making it so that I couldn't maintain a job. In the past, they have given that pornography, child pornography of me, but I don't look like a child. I'm 17 at the time. So they would take that last porn and like give it to like some guy manager at my work and I'd be sexually harassed out of a job. Or just humiliate me. Just humiliated me um at my work. And also, just stuff like just stuff like that. And so I was pretty mad about it. And then at the same time, they're asking me to do other like work for them, not just the intellectual property work, but also like, can you prepare me a P&L? And I'm like, this is not even like, right? I'm not a CPA. Uh, just make a spreadsheet, Heather. What's the big deal? Right? Because you asked me to work for fucking free, and that's your goddamn fucking job. Why don't you make a spreadsheet? Mhm. Right. You know. So in 2012, I had created a situation where my kids were protected from them, but and I just quit doing any of it. I quit doing it. Um, any of it. I had to quit using the internet. Um, but then they made my life so unlivable through fucking with my work, my regular slave wage job work. And I was pretty upset about it. So then I started doing other stuff to try to get out. I've got to get out of this situation. So in 2015, I I took a job with my stalkers and pretended not to know them and started collecting just collecting data on them. And then right. And then 2017, I started writing. I started writing everything down in a Google Doc. And I already knew that I was on an FBI watch list, probably from the illegal activities. But um, so I already knew that I was on an FBI watch list. So I started writing everything down in a Google Doc. Um, and then you know, if you're known for that sort of thing, um, by federal authorities, they're going to read everything you fucking write online, even if you don't publish it, even if you put it in a Google Doc that never goes anywhere. So I started writing everything in those Google Docs, um, kind of the same stuff that I'm saying now, that I'm about to tell in this story, the who, what, when, why, where, and only with names and actual locations and all of that. All of that. I started writing down in Google Docs. Now, as soon as I hadn't been online for a long time, and I certainly hadn't written anything like that. So as soon as I started up those Google Docs, it was just like a very short time later. I was working at a hotel, resort, and convention center, and there was a cop convention, and two separate federal federal agents that are known personally to me came to make sure that it was actually me writing the things. A federal marshal and someone from the Department of Homeland Security. So, I was like, oh, I guess this is making a difference. So I kept writing. And then in 2018, they did finally arrest one person. The FBI arrested one person in 2018. And then when I had written out the whole story, um, my, But after I trauma dumped all of that, um, my head was pretty clear. So then I wrote a novella, and um, and then Mark stole it. Mhm. I had emailed it to three separate individuals, two of my friends and one my stepmother. And my two friends didn't read it because they're rude. And then my stepmother did read it and got really upset because it was kind of dirty. Anyway, they got super offended by it. And yeah, and then and then Mark said it was useless and called it fan fiction. He saw it. No, he said it was Bible fanfic. He said this is just Bible fanfic and this is trash and this is garbage. I was like, okay. And but it didn't prevent him from using that in one of his projects. Mm, absolutely, he fucking did. And so what I really did was create an evidence trail for the FBI to follow, and this is part of that. Have a great day.